the thing with this is why I got so burnt out of doing a comedy, because a lot of clubs, it was basically you'd be there like Wednesday or Thursday through Sunday. So a lot of clubs wanted you to come in a day early, so you could do morning radio and plug the show. And so I would go in a day early, and you fly to the East Coast, and all of a sudden you're on California time, and you have to go to sleep because you got to get up at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. And when you try to go to sleep, you can't go to sleep. And when you're on, West Coast time, so all of a sudden, it's 11 o'clock at night before 8 o'clock my time. And so finally you fall asleep 2, 3 in the morning, and you have to get up at 6, and you do radio, and you got to sit in the car with some waitress who's telling you her fucking life story, some assistant manager who wants to do comedy. And it's like talking to somebody like you. It's really annoying. It's not so bad now because I'm drinking wine. It's nighttime and I can close my iPad. But imagine being stuck in a fucking car with you and you drive and you're sitting in traffic and you go do some shitty radio show, and then you could do another radio show, and then all of a sudden then you're on some hip hop show, and I don't know why, because these people aren't coming to see me. So now you're all jacked up on coffee, and you want to go back and go to sleep, and I'm bouncing off the walls of my fucking room. Then you got to go to the mall,
Right.
How many times can you do that? Anyway, it became a real drag. And then, you do this all weekend. And then you get up the next day sometimes to do radio after being up at night doing a show, and you're all jacked up. That's without drugs. You're all kind of wired. And
right.
It really, and because I'm obviously kind of a little bit high energy. So, and to do 2 shows on a Friday, 2 shows, 2 shows on a Saturday. And then come home to a annoying wife and a crying baby and a dog that doesn't shut up. It got, look, again,
I get it.
It's not chemotherapy, and it's not working in a coal mine, but years and years of doing this.
Of course, it wears
you
on
down.
you.
And it killed a lot of comics. Killed a lot of guys, and it ruined a lot of marriages, and it fucked up a lot of people. It's like, it's like baseball players with steroids. You get caught up in all the competition, and then you want to be the best, and people are getting better and better and better at it,
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's a good comparison, but it's really hard.
No, I know what you mean. And or it's just, or you wind up like right now, it feels like there's really no, like you can obviously, like there's good comics, you can get good and all that other crap, but there's a lot of, so I opened for a guy who was a YouTube star, and by the way,
I've heard about that. Yeah.
And it was one of those things where I'm like, I was friends with the club owner. So they were like, hey, would you come down and do this? Like, as a favor, whatever. Cause it was like a weird thing too, where like they sold out the 2 nights, but it was like a weird night, like a weeknight thing. So I was like, okay, yeah, no problem. So I go to do it. And I swear to God, it was like that audience had never seen an actual stand-up before. I had a great time, like packed the room. I had a great time, and I couldn't understand what was going on. I'm like, why is this audience so good right now? And then I watched the YouTube star go up and not do stand-up. You know what I mean?
How long did they do? Like 20 minutes, 30 minutes?
Yeah. Because I didn't understand. Yeah.
Well, that's what comedy's come to. And not totally. It's still a lot of great comics, a lot of great venues. But because of the internet, because of YouTube, and because of social media, clubs tell me that some idiot with a puppet, will do a show. He's like a YouTube, TikTok sensation. And he'll pack the room. But his audience is all 14-year-olds, so they have to do an afternoon show.
Right.
They'll sell out, and the guy will do 20 minutes, but his whole act is talking to the kids, signing puppets and, giving out shit and candy.
Yeah.
And the whole thing's creepy.
It is.
But I got so caught in between being a big comedy star and working big rooms and being that TikTok idiot. So I like him in the middle. I was always a club comic, but I was at the top of the chain of club comics, and it was great. I'm not bitter. I'm not one of these guys that's going to let my career dictate. I have a great girlfriend. I sound like an old Jew now. I'm in great health. I put food on the table, but I'm 65. If I get 20 good years left, I don't need to go play comedy clubs anymore. I never took more than 2-3 weeks off max in a 45-year career. And I've not worked. Last week was a year that I haven't worked. And the last show I did was me and Bill Maher and Sarah Silverman on New Year's
Hawaii,
Eve.
right?
Yeah, in Hawaii. And Bill does that every year.
Yeah.
And he brought us in last year.
Oh, wow, look at that.
Yeah, there you go. And so was Sarah, and then Joe Walsh came with us, and
Oh,
Woody came by,
fantastic.
and Willie, and but what was great, and I'm not used to this, and it was great. The audience is there to laugh. It's adults, and Bill was doing it for like 9 years, so they knew whoever Bill brought in were, if not major comedy stars, major comics. So
Right.
even if you didn't know who they were, maybe you didn't know Jeff Ross, maybe you didn't know Bobby Slayton, but he'd always bring in. They knew they were going to get a great show. And it
Yeah.
was so, and I go, this is what I miss about comedy. If I could fly in a private jet and get paid well and play in a theater rather than, play
Right.
some horrible funny bone in Kansas City in front of a bunch of,
Yeah.
drunken idiots and,
Dystopia tonight.